friends, good morning. I'm going to put a how-to video together for you of the Liberty Bell. Fun fact, when I was in 5th grade, way back when, I had to do a project in my social studies class on the Liberty Bell. And what I learned is that it is actually hung from a piece of wood. My grandfather helped me with this project, and we went scouring the woods to cut a piece of tree down to get the piece of wood we needed. That was my grandfather. But anyways, using this transfer, I incorporated a wooden cutout that I actually purchased, which is a little bit smaller than this transfer, which is what I wanted because I wanted to move the effect a little bit. And I did add the topper using the coffee grounds to give it this wood look. I used a very old retired surface. This round did come with the chain. I painted the chain. I was going to use the chain, and then I took the chain off. I didn't want the chain because I thought it looked better just sitting in a stand. So let me show you how I did it. Come on. Hey friends, today we're working with our Liberty Bell transfer. It's one of our newer transfers. And the Liberty Bell actually does hang from wood. So in order to get that wood look effect, I am going to first start off by painting this wooden cutout that I had purchased online. And the base color of the bell is going to be a storm color. Any gray would do. And the top part I did in espresso. You can use bark, anything like that. You really want to make sure, because we're going to be putting that transfer back down, that you give it a good wax. If you notice, this transfer is actually a lot bigger than the wooden cutout. I purposely purchased a smaller wooden cutout. I wanted to alter the effect just a little bit of the bell, knowing that the topper was going to be done different anyways. So I went ahead and I dried it. I did sand it. I rough sand it just to get some inconsistencies out and just to get it looking more distressed. Added some coffee grounds, wet coffee grounds, to this cup, and I added my espresso paste and a little bit of black. Now, this is where the magic happens. You'll notice I'm just using a pouncing technique. I'm going to pounce, pounce, pounce that mixture right onto the top. Don't worry if you make a mess, it does make a mess. Took my drying tool. While this is still wet, you want to dry it, because then you get those puckers or those poofs, and it really makes it a more natural look. I knew I wanted this design on some type of round, so I went into my inventory and I found a couple I had of these boutique rounds that I forgot I had. I did paint the chain, but then I ended up taking the chain off. I sanded the back signature piece off, which is the Chalk Couture logo. Because I am using the back, I didn't want to use the front because the front is actually a chalkboard, and I wanted to use that flat surface, so I just went ahead and paste painted using vanilla that whole back piece. While that was drying, I just dry brushed some black velvet paste onto the bell and the topper. And then I ended up using the nominee paste, and I did the same. I just really hit it with some highlights. You can do this anywhere on this design. And that's what it looks like. I found this little wooden tag I had. If you don't have anything like this, you can definitely use chalk suede paper. You can use a file folder, cardboard paper, anything like that. I base painted it with vanilla, then I did a candy apple red, While that was drying, I went ahead and waxed this surface again. You want to make sure you wax really well if you're going to be laying a transfer down, because you don't want to pull up that paint that you put down. So I did use the angle stripes pattern, and I did that in candy apple red. It definitely gave it a distressed look. That is what this pattern is all about. Scraped up the excess and pulled up. Then I got a glue gun out. I use these black upholstery tacks, and it looks like the nuts and the screws they actually used on the bell, the wooden part of the bell. I waxed this. I ended up taking a wet wipe and brushing off a little bit more paste because I wanted to highlight the word Liberty. I got Liberty from Home of the Brave. If you don't have that transfer, you can go ahead and use any transfer that you have, any words that you find. You don't even need to add a word if you don't want. Totally, totally optional. I glued down a couple more of those black upholstery tacks. Once this dried, I added a little bit of Mod Podge, and I sprinkled on some fine silver and some fine gunmetal glitter. Then I kind of just took my air gun and blew off all that extra. Hot glued that Liberty piece down. And then taking a block, I wanted the bell to be a little 3D-ish. So I just took one of those small blocks, hot glued it down, and then put the bell right on top of it. You'll notice the height difference. It really does stand out when you give it that 3D effect. I hope you like this project. Follow All Things Patti for more fun tricks and ideas. Thank you.